My 30M wife, 34F, and I have been together for 8 years, 5 of them married. I thought we were the kind of couple that could tell each other any problem. I loved her deeply and always believed she felt the same way about me. Like many couples, we had our ups and downs, but I never thought it could lead to infidelity. For months ago, I started noticing changes in her behavior. She was more distant, always glued to the phone and avoiding our conversations, the typical thing about a cheating person. Well, one day I came across a message on her phone that confirmed what I feared the most. She was seeing someone else. It was like a punch in the stomach. I felt anger, sadness, and an overwhelming sense of betrayal. But instead of confronting her right away, I decided to wait. My main reason was to protect myself in a possible divorce. If I was going to face this situation, I wanted to have solid evidence, so I spent the next 2 months gathering messages, photos, and anything else I could use if things got legally difficult. During those 2 months, I pretended normality while the pain piled up. I watched her act like everything was fine, and with each passing day, my feelings for her faded. The love I once felt was replaced by indifference. If anyone says that love for someone doesn't go away, well, it's not entirely true. When I finally gathered all the evidence, I confronted her. I showed her everything I knew, and although she tried to deny it at first, she finally admitted that she had been having an affair. She said it was a mistake, that she still loved me, and that she wanted to work things out. But by then, I didn't feel anything anymore. I didn't scream, I didn't cry, I didn't even get angry. I simply told her that it was okay, that we could get a divorce, and that we could each move on with our lives. My lack of emotion baffled her. She said my indifference was cold and cruel, and that if I had truly loved her, I should have fought to save our marriage, which was ironic coming from her. But the truth was that I did love her very much. Only after 2 months of living with the betrayal and silence, I just didn't care. AITA for becoming indifferent towards my wife after discovering her affair? Date. Wow, honestly, I didn't expect the number of messages I've received in the last few hours. I apologize for not responding to the comments, but rest assured I am reading them. My inbox is filled with hundreds of replies, and I'm truly surprised by the support and the number of people who took the time to share their experiences and opinions. First, I felt overwhelmed reading so many stories from people who have gone through similar situations, some even worse. I never imagined that so many people could relate to what I'm going through. I guess it's eye-opening to see that infidelity is more common than I thought. And yes, there were also comments that made me question if I disconnected emotionally too quickly, but after reflecting, I believe I did what I needed to do to protect myself. Some people told me I should have tried to save the marriage, but the truth is, I don't think I could have. The betrayal felt like a wall that went up between us, and once I saw everything clearly, there was no way to go back to what we had. It's not that I don't want to love or be loved, it's just that the chapter with her is over for me. Does that make me cruel? I don't know, but it's my truth. One of the most impactful things was seeing how many people are stuck in relationships where trust has been broken and they don't know how to move forward. To everyone who asked how I'm doing it, I don't have a definitive answer. For me, it was a slow process, day by day, watching the love fade until it was just gone. There were also some messages from people in my wife's position, those who had made mistakes but genuinely wanted to make things right. It made me think, what would have happened if I had confronted her before my feelings faded? Maybe things would have turned out differently, but honestly, I don't think so. Once trust is broken like that, it's nearly impossible to go back to what it was. Anyway, I want to thank everyone who shared their words, whether they were supportive or critical. You've given me a lot to think about, and I'm grateful for that. I'm processing all of this little by little, but if there's one thing I'm sure of, it's that, for the first time in months, I feel like I can breathe and look forward without the weight of what happened. Thanks again. This isn't as simple as the title. We are both in our late 20s and have been together for 7 months. She told me this, so I don't know how accurate it is or if any important details were left out. I don't have anyone else's story but hers. While she was out of town, she decided to go a bar with a small group of people she just met at an event. The group was 4 people, a single guy, my girlfriend, and a couple. The single guy showed interest in her, but she told him she had a boyfriend and isn't interested. The guy kept buying drinks for the group and got everyone drunk. Knowing she was too drunk to drive, the group invited her to crash in one of their rooms at a nearby hotel. The group ended up in the single guy's hotel room intending to hang out for a bit, but the couple quickly left because one of them started vomiting from drinking too much. This left my girlfriend alone with the other guy, and he started making moves on her. She was so drunk she was on the verge of passing out, but she was awake enough to tell him no several times. He kissed her, and she confessed to me that she kissed him back but then told him to stop. She gave me more details about him pulling out his pork and trying to do things to her while she was trying to just get some sleep. She kept telling him no, but he kept trying things, even bruising her arms by holding her down. Some point things calmed down enough that she fell asleep. She insisted that no penetration happened. In the morning she said goodbye and drove back to her hotel. When she got back into town a few days later, she confessed and told me this story, but it doesn't end there. I was hurt, disappointed, and just needed time to think. Some of this sounds like she is a victim. I told her I wasn't sure what I would do about it yet. A week goes by and we try to go back to normal while I deal with it internally. She calls me one day saying she is going to urgent care because of pain and discomfort downstairs. We had sex earlier that day. She later confessed to me that there's a chance they had sex that night, which may have led to an infection or something, but that she was asleep or too blackout drunk to remember. She told me that she spoke with the police about the incident and that they made a report and were going to ask the guy questions. This is when she confessed to me about her and the guy exchanging phone numbers and that she also had lunch with this group the morning after. I never saw a copy of the report, so I don't know if that part is true. Either way, this is all extremely poor judgment on her part, especially by someone who told me she would ruin my life if I ever cheated on her. She said she would cut off my manhood if I ever cheated. I can't stop thinking about it. This guy she just met getting her drunk, rubbing his pork on her, exchanging kisses, potentially banging, and then having lunch together the next day. I can't live a life always paranoid, wondering, is she going to get drunk tonight with her friends and do this again with someone she doesn't even know? Am I going to get some disease? She had many opportunities to avoid this. She knows her hotel is far away and would need to drive, so why did she decide to go drinking? Why didn't she remove herself from the situation when a guy who wants her keeps buying her drinks? Why didn't she take an Uber? Why did she agree to go into this guy's hotel room? Why didn't she leave when the couple left? Why did she omit details from the story and wait over a week to tell me? Some of this story sounds she was raped, sexually harassed, violated. The rest sounds like she made a lot of stupid decisions, willingly got into another man's bed, and had too many opportunities to get out of this situation but decided not to. I have a thought in the back of my head that is telling me I don't have the full story and she's hiding details. I'm broken apart by this and can't stop thinking about it. I decided to end it. Am I the asshole? Was this the right move, or am I an asshole for dumping someone after they were raped?